Hey guys, Phil Baumhart here. So for today's video, I've got a little tale of blood and gore for you today. And as you may have guessed by the thumbnail, I had a little injury with a knife, and it happened to be this knife. This is a big old Bowie knife. I think it's a 12-inch blade on it. And so what happened is I was standing there, holding this, looking at it, kind of depressed at how it was coming out. I was having a little bit of trouble with the finish. I'm still not happy with it. I haven't started working on it since. It's still got some of my dried blood on there, and all I did, and I don't want to recreate it for you here, but all I did is I was standing there looking at it, and I kind of lowered my hand, and I had been buffing it and stuff like that, so it's very slippery, not a lot of traction on there, and I wasn't really paying attention, wasn't really thinking about it. You know, I was kind of distracted, my mind was elsewhere, and it just slipped out of my hand and ended up going into my leg, lower leg, just above the ankle. So this could have been a lot worse. As it was, I got a little hole in me about an inch long. I think it's exactly an inch in diameter. But from looking at the blood on here, and then if you think about the inch in diameter on this thing, that's about this much of the knife that went into me. That's a good amount. So the blood goes to about here. So at least that much of the knife went into me, but I think I got a little more of it. And so that just kind of goes to show the fearsome power of this point. And this is something that I had kind of put an edge on it, a good enough edge. It wasn't a perfect edge. I wasn't super happy with it, but it was sharp enough. And then I was trying to get the finish better because there's still grind marks and different wave patterns and just imperfections that I wasn't satisfied with. So I kept working on it, and it did get dulled here and there, but I mean, that's still a pointy point. Actually, the point got dulled a little bit. It wasn't, it used to be come to a much finer tip, and I'm thankful that it wasn't, I guess. But with that double edge, and I did sharpen this the false edge. So with that double edge, it's a very fine point, and it very quickly sweeps open. So it's still a very strong point. I mean, if you baton with it, you can break the very tip of this off, and I've done that on other knives. But I mean, just how quickly it widens up, and then how small it is, it very quickly accelerates the cut and very quickly creates a very deep, very wide wound. And all I did was drop this. I don't want to recreate it again, but all I did was drop this, and it fell about 2 feet, 3 feet tops, so about 6 feet tall. So from waist level down to the ankle. I just dropped it. Like there was no acceleration. It was simply gravity. Just put this into my leg, and it just instantly started bleeding, and I didn't waste any time. I didn't look at it. I just got some paper towel, took my sock off. Two pairs of socks. I went through a pair of canvas pants and 2 pairs of socks. Put some paper towel on it, wrapped it in duct tape, and I'm gonna set this down somewhere where I can see it, so I know it won't bite me. So after I had it bandaged up, I made the mistake of not going to the emergency room right away. So this happened about 6:30 at night. I was actually headed out to the garage to continue working on it when this happened, and I decided to wait it out and see, in the morning how bad it actually was, and then get stitched up if I wanted to get stitched up the next day. Because I've had cuts, serious cuts on my hands before. If you guys may have noticed the scars that I probably should have gotten stitches for, but I just taped up and let myself heal naturally. So I thought, hey, maybe I'll just let this heal up on its own. Foolish of me, I know, I'm getting to it. So that night, the leg swelled up pretty quickly, and it didn't hurt. When the knife went in, no pain, didn't even feel it, but just the fact that blood, and a lot of blood, instantly came up was kind of a warning sign to me as far as how serious the injury was, because the blade instantly had a bunch of blood on it. I actually wiped it off after I bandaged myself up because, I got to take care of my knife. I don't want blood corroding the steel. So I had wiped it off, and it's still on there a week later. There's still dried blood on there that I didn't quite get. But that night, it swelled up. It got very painful to move. Like I couldn't articulate the foot at all. So it all swelled up. And that night at about 4 in the morning, I woke up. I was kind of slightly nauseous, dizzy, faintness, and loss of equilibrium. So I did feel very faint, and like hot, very hot, sweating. So I guess kind of feverish. I don't think it was a fever, but maybe it was. So I tried going to the bathroom because I was trying to put my, I had lost my glasses. I was trying to put my contacts in, so I had my contacts. Trying to get to the bathroom. I didn't make it. I just completely lost equilibrium, fell over, and I couldn't I couldn't really call for help. Like I just sort of fell, and I just sort of was sort of blacking out, and there was like nothing I could do about it. And somehow I kind of came back to, managed to get up, got to the bathroom, put one contact in. And then I fell over again. It lost equilibrium, and I fell right over again. Managed to get my ass up again, one contact in and one out. Trying to find that contact, where did it go? It had fallen into the sink, picked it up, put it back in, and I made it back to my room. And I kind of felt better after that, but that was kind of a moment of the realization that this was a little bit more serious than I previously thought. So next morning, went to the urgent care to get stitched up, and the guy that stitched me up wasn't a doctor. I think he was a PA, really good guy. I guess he was a Navy corpsman. He kind of scolded me on that I should have come in right away to get it stitched up. So lesson learned there, and let this be a lesson to you guys. When in doubt, just go and get it stitched up. I mean, it's better for you in the long run. And with the depth of the wound, I was really kind of worried about infection, but I had some good antibiotics and all that, so I think I'm in the clear now as far as infection is concerned. I just got the stitches pulled out a couple days ago, actually a day early, and the same doctor wasn't happy that I came in early to get the stitches out. He told me to wait 10 days, and I guess I came in on day 9, so it's 10 days after the day you get the stitches. I didn't know that either. This is my first time getting stitches, so there's still kind of like a little scar tissue lump under there, because I think like I said, the knife went in at least 1 inch, probably 1.5 inches, possibly 2 inches. I don't think a full 2 inches. It could have been a lot worse. The rip in the pair of pants I was wearing is quite a bit bigger. And so if we go to the leg that it fell on, there's the hole that went through the pants. It's about a 3-inch hole. The point of the knife just caught onto the canvas and opened that up. So again, I'm lucky. I could have had a 3-inch hole in my leg instead of just a 1 inch. And so here's the first pair of socks. Nice little hole right there. More dried blood on the inside. I guess I should probably wash these. This is the second pair of socks I was wearing. It's a cold day in February, so there's the much bigger blood stain there. So again, on this one, it soaked through this whole pair of socks and into this almost instantly. And so here's the blade in question. There's some blood still on there. Roll that over. Whoop. Yeah, more on that side right there. So the wound is about 1 inch wide. So if we take that, what do you think? Up to about there? I mean, that could be how much of the knife is went into my leg. I don't know. So that would be about 3 inches of the blade. I don't think it was that deep. I really don't. It went in like this. Boom, this point, and kind of ripped that way. I may have even, my leg may have been turned a little bit, so it might have gone in more like this. But yeah, I mean, that's about how much of the knife could have gone in there. This could have been a lot worse, but this you know, for how small it was, it really took me out of commission for quite a while. So that'll kind of explain the lack of videos and Instagram postings recently. But I'm kind of getting back into the game here, so I feel pretty lucky that it happened kind of where it happened. The leg wounds take a while to heal. There wasn't a lot of meat down there, but could have been worse. It could have had it gone to the foot or like the ankle or hit a nerve. It could just and I'm also I feel lucky that I'm born in this day and age, because I mean, if you think about, you know, this happening you know, in the 1800s, the era of the Bowie knife, or any time period in history, you know, Vikings. I talk about Vikings a lot on my channel, but any of them. Sure, you might have somebody that can stitch you up, but there's no antibiotics. You know, you might be able to have somebody who knows about kind of the herbs with the antibacterial properties, but it's still not going to cut it. I mean, so the chance of infection from a wound as small as this one, bringing you down and killing you, I think were pretty high, you know, in antiquity. So I feel thankful to be living in an age of modern medicine. So take that for what it's worth. But just a few interesting points to me, just about just how deadly and dangerous the Bowie knife is. You know, how quickly, you know, that point can wound you, and how effective it is as a weapon. You know, I kind of knew about it, but this is kind of as close as I want to come to experiencing it firsthand. So again, take this as a data point for what it's worth. So you know, be careful out there, guys. So people say, you know, oh, be careful. I say, I'm careful, and I got the scars to prove it. So, you know, if you're a knife maker or somebody who deals with guns and knives and stuff like that, there's a certain level of danger that's going to be there, and it doesn't mean not to do it, and you can't be scared of it. But I think the big flaw that I made with this is I didn't treat it like a sharp knife. I kind of let my guard down, you know. So since it's just the blade, you know, and I'm in that creation process where it goes from, you know, a dull blank of steel that, you know, while it's steel, it can't cut you. And then at some point, you know, you sharpen it and it becomes a knife. And I hadn't made that distinction in my mind yet. And so I kind of let my guard down around it. So just a cautionary tale to, you know, treat every knife as if it was sharp. Treat every firearm as if it was loaded. Treat every grinder as if it's plugged in. It's more of a kind of a mindset and an attitude towards these dangerous things. So there's a quote that I've heard attributed to the samurai Minamoto Musashi, and I haven't been able to verify it, so this may all be kind of made up, but it sounded good, so it was poignant to me, so I'm going to just share it with you right now. So you know, Musashi's a master samurai, and he killed, like, you know, 100 men in duels and stuff like that, so just an absolute sword master. And a student came to him and asked him how to hold the sword for different tasks, how to hold it while you're sharpening, while you're cleaning it. And his response was, always hold your sword as if you were about to cleave a man in half. And so the lesson from there is just the mindset as far as holding the sword, holding a knife, you know, and this can translate to firearms as well. I got this particular quote from firearms instructor James Yeager, and it just sort of stuck with me. But, you know, it's just the mindset of the weapon in your hand. So I didn't have the proper mindset, and I feel like I paid the price for it. So I want to take this and learn what I can from this experience, and hopefully you guys can learn from it as well. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you want to see more of my knife making, please subscribe to the channel. I'm going to have more videos coming. A making of video of this particular Bowie knife is going to be coming out. But as always, I appreciate the support. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be more Viking.